day everyone aims for on the AVP, making it to a Sunday. We have a couple teams getting ready to find their shot in a semifinal. Welcome to Huntington Beach for the first Heritage event of the 2024 season. The AVP, like never before, finds itself in Surf City, USA. Just north of the Huntington Beach Pier sits Stadium Court, and our four competitors getting ready for a matchup into a semifinal. Brandy Wilkerson playing alongside Melissa Humana-Paredes, facing off against a somewhat unknown partnership, Therese Cannon and May Kraft. Hi everyone, I'm Cameron Irwin alongside Rich Lamborn. When you're facing somewhat of an unknown, you know them as individuals, how do you approach this if you're Mel and Brandy?
Well, I think I always like to just focus on what's happening on your side of the net. Mel and Brandy have obviously title hopes in mind here, but later on in the summer, they're looking towards the Paris Olympics and possibly being on the podium there as well. So they're just trying to hone their game on their side of the net, and I think that's going to be what's on order for them today in this match.
They're going to have to deal with a little bit of windy conditions, which they saw just an evening ago in the quarterfinal matchup, but something to pay attention to through the entirety of this. Therese Cannon and May Kraft, the products of the collegiate game. Let's see what they can put together against the number 4 ranked team in the world. Sending it now to Mark Sherman for your team intros.
Yes, we are all set for our first women's match of the day here on Championship Sunday, and I'm excited to welcome these women to the court on Stadium for the first time this weekend. Oh yes, let's do this. We've got 6 national championships in this booth right now. I believe you had 2, is that correct? 2016, 2017, yes, the back-to-back national champ. Originally out of Pittsford, New York, ladies and gentlemen, Therese is ready to fire the cannon. It is Therese Cannon. And her partner out of San Diego, California is now a back-to-back-to-back-to-back 4-time NCAA national champion out of USC. Everybody, let me hear it for Megan Kraft. Back-to-back-to-back-to-back. It's got to feel good. These ladies, oh, they're feeling good too. They're ready to head to the Olympic Games in Paris, ladies and gentlemen. This first player is the 2-time defending best blocker on the AVP. Everybody, out of Lausanne, Switzerland. Initially, she was a Swiss, Canadian, American, and we love her no matter what she is, ladies and gentlemen. She is Brandy. She is Brandy Wilkerson. Oh, yeah. And her partner, she's been 2-time best setter in the world on the FIVB World Tour, one of the best defenders in the world as well, the smiling assassin. Look at that smile, I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, she is Melissa Humana-Paredes.
They won the opener in 2023, Melissa Humana-Paredes and Brandy Wilkerson. It was Wilkerson's first AVP title. You can guarantee they're looking to find the opener here in Huntington Beach, but they've got some work to do after taking a loss yesterday to Team TK in the quarterfinals. Got to shore up a few things, but a big storyline to follow, Rich. Meg Kraft now becoming a defender. You'll find her in the backcourt, one of the premier blockers from the collegiate ranks, the 4-time national champion.
And there will be no shortage of physicality on the side of Cannon and Kraft, nor will there be a shortage of physicality out of the likes of Brandy Wilkerson, the most imposing blocker on the women's side of the game, in my opinion, worldwide.
Well, and she's been proving that here in Huntington Beach. She's currently leading the women's field with 14 total blocks in just 7 games played. 3 matches for Brandy Wilkerson. She's earning right at 2 blocks a set.
So you mentioned their match yesterday, Mel and Brandy against TKN. Number 2 versus number 4 in the world. Late on a Saturday in Huntington Beach, just amazing stuff. And it was a tight one all the way down to the finish. How do Mel and Brandy bounce back? Did that get sidelined? It did indeed.
That is inbound.
Our line judges down there. Change to Therese Cannon and May Kraft picking up the point.
You can see that ball mark. I think they might want to have a second look at this because It was awfully close.
All I know is there are about 8 sets of eyes on this line right now. Let's see what they come up with.
It's interesting to me that our up ref isn't going right next to that ball.
I love the conferring down the line.
Well, it's good. You want your officials to work hard to get the calls right, and they do an excellent job of that here on the AVP.
They're going to stick with it. Ball in bounds.
What?
Let's listen to Brandy.
This line, he's got a great view of that right down the line. That's why he's there.
That is why he's there.
That is why he's there. I do agree with Brandy, however, that even though John King is responsible for that line, he was the furthest away from that ball.
Look at Melissa Humana-Paredes as she goes into the heavy angle. Rich, how hard is it to go from a full-time blocker to now a full-time defender?
Yeah, I can't speak from personal experience, but it is very difficult. You get so many reps collegiately and have been so successful as a blocker the way Meg Kraft has, and then to switch to defense, you have to rely on a little bit of instinct back there, right? You work a lot with your partner kind of in synchronicity with your defender. Now you're on the flip side of that.
This team of Cannon and Kraft have 6 national titles combined. They're just one short, Mr. TB12.
Right, yeah.
There's a good dig for Meg Kraft out of San Diego, California. However, there's Brandy Wilkerson's wall. The Wilkerson wall.
The Wilkerson wall just elevating. Yeah, you can't get those sets too close to the net, or that just goes right into the teeth of the block.
Let's good look at it. That extra elevation from Brandy. Patrice Cannon pulling out the mitts. Open net as that falls inside.
Yeah, second glance from Brandy up at the up official, wondering if that set was a little wonky.
It had about a half turn to it.
Half turn, yeah. We always allow for a little extra grace on a Sunday.
As you should. Lord knows you need it.
I need a lot of it all 7 days of the week.
Tough serve from Patrice Cannon, cross court and deep into the corner. Pretty. Melissa Humana-Paredes working to the right side, baby cut.
Really nice, good communication. Team Canada.
Yeah, Team Canada heading off to 2024 Paris Olympics. Ranked currently in the top 5 in the world. Guaranteed they're aiming to sit atop the podium. Again, here's Mel. Good push, sees the retreating defense and gets into the corner.
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest challenges. You talked about making that move from blocker to defender, the timing of your defensive moves. I mean, Meg Kraft has all the skills, but that timing element is something that takes a little bit of practice and is something to keep our eye on here as this match progresses.
Meg Kraft playing alongside Delaney Maple for her time at USC. Delaney off to Indiana to play another year, but this time indoor. There's another ball that's spinning. It took just an extra second to call that whistle.
Yeah, a little late whistle, but the correct one ultimately.
Hand setting, a lot tougher out here in these windy conditions. One of the beautiful elements brought over from the collegiate ranks, especially that women's game. The hand setting has just been flawless in the past 5 years, and it's really filtered in now to the professional ranks in the United States.
It's such a big factor, just those, I don't know, 1 or 2% that you can gain. So critical to winning and losing at the highest levels, right? And the ability to locate the ball for your partner more consistently, so critical to being good offensively, and that hand setting playing a huge role.
Speaking of offense, how about the southpaw, Brandy Wilkerson, working the on-2. A huge part of their game. You'll see it in the side out as well. She's been good from the service line this weekend, Brandy Wilkerson. That thing is still shaking, no question, that ball's good.
Bouncing the cable. Yeah, that's not the wind blowing that thing around. That's the good cut shot from Therese Cannon.
Yeah, you might have to watch out for that later on this afternoon, as the wind could potentially pick up as our day continues. Push set out to the pin. Extended offense from Team Canada.
You know, really good high swing from Mel as well to pay that off, going through the hands up top of Therese Cannon. Have to have that offensive variety to work around big blockers on the sand.
Going at Meg Kraft in that tough corner into the wind on the right side, but that is the best block I've seen from Brandy all weekend. Pushed off the net was Meg Kraft, but how about that? That thing went straight down.
Just piking on that at the net, Brandy Wilkerson.
Ooh, that is a filthy block. Let's get some more of that, Brandy Wilkerson.
Coming into the season, we saw a little montage, if you follow AVP on social media, her talking about what an inspiration Phil was to her game. Looking very Dahlhauser-ish on that play.
Only difference is one's 5'10", one's 6'9". There's a good touch from Brandy coming off. That's what makes her blocking that much more incredible to me. You think about the best blockers in the world, and they're typically, you know, 6'4", 6'3" even. Brandy Wilkerson, 5'10",
yeah,
and considered one of the best.
Yeah, but she's extremely explosive out there. I would probably have her at the top of the list of athleticism on the women's side.
100% agree. Melissa, what a pass. Snagging that before it gets to the sideline and finding the opposite. That is just mean.
Yeah, that's you're not going to see that on the stat sheet anywhere, but a tremendous serve from Cannon and Kraft gets handled beautifully by Mel. Great set and then unbelievable cut shot for the winner.
Bit of an up and down set, and Meg Kraft, this past season at USC, one of the focuses for her was really using that power. She's been such a good shooter throughout her career, but she wanted to get a little bit more emphasis and really be able to get on top of the ball and attack it.
Yeah, I like that focus too, because you need to have that power game to kind of set up your shots game, right? And she's tall, she's physical out there, so she's got the capabilities. And implementing those more, an excellent idea from Meg Kraft.
Meg Kraft still looking for her first AVP title. Her partner, Therese Cannon, has one in the bag. Came alongside Sarah Sponsel back in 2022 in Hermosa Beach. Therese trying to find the line, but a net violation. Brandy is adamant that that is not the case.
It's always interesting how frequently that happens, especially when you're convinced that you didn't net. There's always a conversation that ensues, and I think we're 0 for lifetime on seeing the net call reversed due to the plea of the player.
I agree. I don't know if I've seen that yet.
A 2-point swing there for Cannon and Kraft, getting the benefit of the net fault and then the ace to back it up from Therese Cannon.
Therese Cannon has been serving really well this weekend. She's sitting at the top of the list in terms of some of the aces she's seen. She's already had 7 heading into this matchup. And finding an ace a set. April Ross, too. You got to go hats off to what April and Alex did this weekend. I know they went off into the contenders bracket. However, it was really impressive. April still leading the pack in terms of total aces in the women's draw. And Alex Kleiman, her hitting efficiency, not shocking, above the 500s on the weekend. As you look now to the top 5 in the world, highlighted are those here in Huntington Beach. Taryn Cloth, Kristen Nuss, Melissa Humana-Paredes, and Brandy Wilkerson currently on the court, as well as Kelly Chang and Sarah Hughes. Each of these teams still alive on this championship Sunday, which is by no means surprising.
Right. If you were hoping 60% of the world's top 5 would be in action in Huntington, we're going to grant that for you. It is a deep field on the women's side, and as you mentioned, anybody's ball game still here for that spot, not only as the champion of Huntington, but in the league later on this fall.
A good look at some numbers here. 727, the efficiency for the 4 seed versus 333 in the early phases of this match. Also,
I'm gonna try to
let's listen in.
Like, juke a little more. Juke, but like be in my spot, not big. Hey, blocking good, blocking good. She had a few high swings, those are good. Yeah. Give it to her.
We're gonna score points, we're gonna score more. So.
Yeah. Keep serving tough, great serve. Yeah.
Trust your block and trust your defense.
Love the conversation you're getting from the box as you now take a look out. You got Harvard, DeBerg, Flint, and Scholes. This is the other contenders bracket matchup, trying to find the opposite side of the semifinal. DeBerg and Harvard, the 10 seed, have had an incredible tournament, but right now facing a bit of a juggernaut and still with a 4-point advantage. Flint and Scholes, last year, every tournament they played in the AVP, they made it to the semifinals. They were a tough team to have to face. They ended up with 1 title to their name in the 2023 season. And they actually are the runner-up from a year ago right here at Huntington Beach. Right now, Harvard and DeBerg looking like the 10 seed is going to find set 1 out on our outer courts. Meanwhile, back out of the technical timeout on Stadium Court. Humana-Paredes and Wilkerson with the serve and the good side. Another heavy angle swing, but we got a chance to hear some of the conversation in the box on the side of Cannon and Kraft, and they talked about some of the blocking and defensive alignments and saying Therese is actually blocking the ball. You could be blocking well and not come away with an actual block.
Well, yeah, and Meg talking about trying to incorporate a few more jukes, which is kind of the term everyone uses for sort of faking a move one way and going the other way defensively to try and throw off the vision of the attacking player. We'll see if they're able to do that and maybe get some traction defensively. The 727, I think, was the number that Mel and Brandy were hitting at. That is tough. That means you're not defending too many balls against the 4 team in the world.
Yeah, that's a nice adjective. That is tough. Second double. Therese looks up to the official.
I think that's a good call. It's not hyper spinny, but it did come off a little, we'll call it thummy.
Finds the top of the block. Point to Mel and Brandy.
Good pickup from Mel, and then the nice knuckle pokey control.
Timeout has to be taken here with a 5-point deficit. You can see Meg Kraft, she's trying to find that defense off the top of the block. Right now, it's been all about the offense.
Lift ball every time. Yeah. Apparently they don't call lifts here, but they'll call doubles and everything.
Just make sure your feet are there. Finish your target. You're fine.
In the middle of the team timeout by Cannon and Kraft.
No, that's good. That's there.
Clearly a little frustrated in terms of those doubles called from Therese Cannon and May Kraft, but I love the communication on the opposite side as you look to the schedule. May Kraft just simply said, hey, I'm going to pass a little bit lower, make it a little easier on you to find that handset as you look to the schedule. The Heritage events, that's the first section of this schedule. That is how you can get into the big area in the fall. This is what you want to play for. The path to the league comes September, but don't forget the contender series is also something that gives you a little bit more money, a little bit more points. Find your shot in the contender events. You can head off to Denver, Wapaka, and of course Virginia Beach. This is the first, though. Huntington Beach, your first shot. Find yourself in the fall. Quick celebration on the missed serve. So Therese Cannon, they talked about her service pressure as well, saying she's been serving really well. Right now, wind at the back. See how she manages here.
And we talked about it a little earlier, but always high stakes on a Sunday. In these heritage events, extra stakes involved with a spot in that league later in the fall, and that's kind of what everyone is gunning for. You saw we've got 8 events and a championship to conclude it all, so that is a lot of opportunity to play, a lot of opportunity to showcase your skill, and a lot of opportunity to earn a living out there as a beach volleyball player in the world. It should be tremendously exciting. I can't wait.
100% mirror the sentiment. Nice pass up to the net off the first contact. And chop in line.
Smooth from Mel defensively. I mean, perfect read on the option. Perfect contact, and then the smooth stroke up the line. Good stuff from the Canadians.
Well, Humana-Paredes, so smooth, one of the premier defenders on the AVP. She earned that title in Miami last year with Brandy. She also had an additional 2. She's a Manhattan Beach Open champ back in 2019, alongside Sarah Pavitt. Another huge move. Brandy Wilkerson owns the net.
Yeah, that is a big dive into the angle, just showcasing the reading ability, the physicality, and the blocking prowess. You wonder, on the side change, we saw Coach Marcio Sicoli having a few words with his ladies. You wonder if that was one of the things that was said. The elite coaches in all of the world of beach volleyball, heading up Pepperdine. Oh.
There's some moves and ahs in the crowd after that one. Uses the bump set instead and finds it. Some transition offense.
Therese will be happy to know that that was not called, so kind of hit the pressure release valve a little bit.
The last few, though, I think you would say would probably have been the right call.
Yeah, I believe so. A really nice dig from Megan Kraft in the midst of that rally as well.
How about that set? Defense knows exactly where that's going. Out assist to play on the opposite side. Finds the feet underneath the net. Little collision, everyone's good. 18-12.
Yeah, those are stingers, though, when you're playing the likes of Mel and Brandy, when you have a point scoring opportunity and you overset the ball. That just stings a little extra.
Yeah, you know there's no way that thing's coming back. Or it is coming back and you have no shot.
Right.
Nice turn to the line. Here's Mel again. Crispy, crispy, crispy. I don't even know how she funneled that and kept it in.
Yeah, there was only a sliver, but she found it.
Watch her splinter this thing. Whew. Can she get another dig? Doesn't have to. The Wilkerson wall does it again.
I love that blocking move, because as Therese goes around to the right, Brandy just stays home, doesn't chase her all the way wide, just sets up in that angle, presses big, gets the stuff to close out set number 1. Emphatically, Cam.
Check out that press from Brandy Wilkerson. Earns 3 blocks, 2 control blocks in the first set. The numbers are outrageous. Neither Humana-Paredes or Wilkerson has a hitting error.
Does anything look cooler than the super slow-mo with the blonde braids just flowing in the wind on the descent?
I don't think so. Yeah, that might be one of the top tier slow-mos. Little dizzy bat for you.
I feel like we're headed for some collisions here. There are a lot of people out there getting ready to spin and lose their balance.
I like it's an all-female competition.
Yeah.
Too.
This is called "We're about to find out what everyone had for breakfast."
I'm just waiting for Kevin Barnett to make his way out there. We know he is not good at this.
I just like that we have 15 wiffle bats ready for a competition.
You have to be careful here on the AVP because if you're starting to circle the outer grounds, you could very easily be pulled into one of these.
Yeah.
I got pulled into one already, and I somehow snuck back out.
It's like flying too close to the Death Star. You get pulled in by the tractor beam.
Yeah, the gravitational force. There's just 2 left.
Oh.
Both good technique. I have not seen either bat come up from the sand, so to their credit. Oh, that looks like absolute misery. That reminds me of like going to the fair in the summer and going on the like Gravitron that spins around, and you're just like, you wait for the little shifter to go up on the wall.
I can't believe that you did that. Yeah, there.
Oh, and she is down.
I mean, my stomach's starting to get a little queasy. Just, oh, there she goes.
Oh, please don't puke or do.
This is, you won, but did you really?
Did you actually? Because you're going to have to find your lunch again. Oh, she's miserable. Oh, that's, yeah. Congratulations in your misery. Mark Sherman always having a fun time with all of our AVP fans here in Huntington Beach. I cannot wait for the rest of the day to see what this guy has got going. So far, what's been the best game that you've seen? I think it was the Derby.
Horse race. Yeah, the Derby is a great new addition. That is far and away my favorite competition
I think
out there.
Like you have to have hip flexors of steel.
Hip flexors, the VMOs are going to be on fire. You can just not worry about training legs the rest of the week.
Yeah. Someone else that is looking real good here, Humana-Paredes and Wilkerson with a 700 percentage on the offensive front as a team. 0 errors on their side. Mel, already into double-digit kills.
Yeah, that is astounding. 700 for a whole set.
Got to find some defense from Therese Cannon, and that's right on cue.
A little overly aggressive maybe with that set attempt. Just got too tight to the net. I always like that mentality though. Even if you have 1 or 2 mistakes here or there, you got to be pushing your partner up in transition into hittable position.
I do like that serve. Just wide though. You got to get after it from the service line to try and slow down this offense. Kraft gets pushed again to the corner. Set gone wide, and somehow she snakes it through.
Yeah, that was excellent. Just kind of sliding out on the 1-footed takeoff, finding a little bit of angle inside the right hand of Brandy.
So Therese Cannon, one of the big ways they can slow down this offense is with the service pressure. I mean, we talk about it all the time. Do you go at one specific player? Are you moving the ball around? With this duo, where do you go?
I think you've got to start with your best serve. We've got a little bit of the elements dictating what that may mean, right? We've seen kind of from this, we'll call it the bad side, the worst of the 2 sides where the wind isn't helping you as much, kind of the 5-to-5 cross-court serve be the most effective for a lot of teams, and Cannon and Kraft have been going to that as well. I think they stay with that.
That's a really good serve on the opposite side. Trouble. Ooh. That got a little sketchy.
Yikes. Yeah, I hold my breath there for a second. Was Brandy doing the right thing, making sure that the ball didn't clear the net, but then it bounced underneath her, fortunately, innocuously. Good communication from Cannon and Kraft, letting that one go. Mel really trying to drive that float serve into the wind.
Kraft out of Torrey Pines High School. It's a force down in San Diego for her entire high school career. She looks for a little poke. Brandy got a hand on it, just not enough.
Yeah, really nice touch there from Meg Kraft, just going short knuckle. Brandy had pulled off the net correctly. Meg finding some sand in front of her.
Think about some of the dreams for this Canadian duo here on the side switch. Mel heading back to the Olympics, as is Brandy. Mel playing alongside Sarah Pavin in 2020 in Tokyo. 2021, if you're really looking at the calendar. They took a 5th, but they were a team that had a world championship title, and they went into that Olympics with big dreams of taking home gold, as everyone does, but they had a real good look at it. Walked away with a 5th, and you can imagine there is some fuel on the fire now for Melissa Humana-Paredes.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is kind of the Canadian dream team of sorts. Get their best defender with their best blocker. And when they put it together, they are incredibly imposing. You know, that's always the challenge of the Olympic Games, is you have 2 weeks to find your best game, right? And everyone's trying to do that. We saw the list of the top 5. Any of those 5 teams, it would not be a surprise to see them atop the podium, and certainly Mel and Brandy would be in that category.
Brandy going away from the jump serve. Works with a jump float instead of jump top. Surprising on this side of the net. If she was going to take that, game over.
Yeah, kind of went with the fist. See a lot of people open the hand on that and almost spike the dig.
Mel passes more to the middle. She attacks back out of the middle, pulls back. Meg Kraft with a scoop, but again, there's just no way to get past her.
Yeah, that's tremendous discipline, though, for Brandy. She waited. She closed down kind of what I like to call the easy out. The shortest way for Meg Kraft to get out of that is to go up the line. Brandy did not let that happen. Tremendous blocking discipline.
Shuffles to her left here. Cut shot, no problem for Mel. What a pull and dig. Therese Cannon with a little wrist away into the angle.
Yeah, they're going to have a little chat, too. They thought that shot was kind of soft from Mel to be handled that kind of less than cleanly overhand.
What do you think?
I think they've got a point, but I also think, again, that's not one that conversation is going to turn into an overturn.
At least not on this. Yeah, it won't turn it into an overturn, but it'll make you think twice.
Meg Kraft doing a fantastic job. We talked about that transition to defender. She's really touching a lot of balls back there for, you know, being newish to the defender position. Shows her volleyball acumen and kind of instinct on the court.
I was talking to her the other day, saying it's so interesting because you've become such an incredible beach player. As you see her pick up the set there, just slightly out of system. I remember when she was still playing indoor in high school and was one of the best ball control players that you could see in the sport. But take a look here. This is what these two courts are playing for as you look to the bracket in the top. One facing off against Taryn Cloth and Kristen Nuss, the other versus Chang and Hughes. So the winners will move on to the semifinals, and that is who awaits them, the 1 and 3 seeds, the 2 teams from the United States who have secured their position into Paris 2024. And looking more so to secure a position into the league come fall with a heritage win. 17-16, Flint and Scholes looking to right the ship in set 2.
And we kind of talked about that a little bit yesterday. I think it's so nice for our American women's teams to have secured their Olympic berths so early so they could kind of plan their schedules accordingly. All these teams would love to do something similar with a berth into the league so they can kind of plan the rest of their summer domestically with a little more comfort as well.
Yeah, get the first one out of the way, and then you get a little room to breathe. Get to play free in the rest of the Heritage events.
Yeah, it's like, you know, having a backstage pass at the AC/DC concert or something. You just walk around and flash in everyone's head. I got a backstage pass. I got my spot in the league secured.
Would that be the choice for you, AC/DC?
I don't know how that came to mind. It's probably Coldplay is more of my thing.
That's awesome. I feel like those for maybe tuning in now, it might be more about the Taylor Swift backstage pass. I think that one's probably pretty hard to come by.
And would carry a lot more weight if you were flashing that around to people. Yeah, you might get mauled for that.
Again, the winners of these two matches face off in the semifinals, either against Clothed Nuts or Chang and Hughes.
Just the elevation from Brandy yet again. Option swing, good choice from Therese Cannon, but just isn't able to quite get it high enough to get past Big Brandy at the net.
Winner of Stadium Court receives Chang and Hughes. Clothed Nuss get the winner of Flint Scholes, Harward, and DeBerg.
Good aggressive swing again. Meg Kraft going around the left side this time.
Again, if Flint and Scholes don't take this, this would be the first time they would not make a semifinal in their partnership on the AVP in their second season together. Nice tool, Melissa Humana-Paredes.
Just sneaking that past the left hand to Therese.
1 point to the technical timeout at 11-9. Brandy to serve.
Keeping this nice and close here in set 2, Cannon and Kraft. Got to find double digits heading into the tech.
Oh, got it.
What an ace! That's a big differential. I know it doesn't feel like it, but a 12-9 tech timeout feels a lot different than 11-10.
Yeah, it absolutely does, and especially when you have to go sit down and sort of ruminate on that ace for a couple extra minutes.
Yeah, I would not want to ruminate on that ace if I were Cannon and Kraft. Let's put it that way.
Not a fan of rumination.
Check it out, our outer court coverage. Harward, DeBerg, Flint and Scholes. If you're just joining us, it's a set point here for Flint and Scholes, who are looking to push this to a third, and that is out of bounds and does it. So that's going to bring us to set 3. But what a journey. Harward and DeBerg, the 10 seed, picking up some solid wins and now finding themselves in the contenders bracket to face off against this tough team of Flint and Scholes. But Kylie DeBerg, she was nasty on day 1.
She was. They handed the A-team their first loss in, I don't know, a decade or something on the AVP.
Yeah, before the semis, that was exactly right. So DeBerg and Harward had a trek through the main draw. They faced off first versus the 7 seed. Again, they were the 10 seed, so an upset in the first, the second versus Kleinman and Ross. Then they had to face off against Chang and Hughes, the 3 seed, and that actually went 3. It was 19-21, 21-17, and then 15-6 in the third. So they have had a really, really solid tournament.
Yeah, and if you had the opportunity to watch that match, Harward and DeBerg down 16-19 in set 1, found 5 straight to win that first set.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Against the world champions, no less. So yeah, they are playing some great volleyball, but facing yet another third set challenge out there on court 1.
Again, the winners here on our stadium court will face off against Chang and Hughes. Megan Kraft, Therese Cannon, currently the 6th seed, looking for the semifinal. Pass gone awry. Gotta have that first contact.
Yeah, it looked a little accidental when Brandy gets up there in time to clean up the overpass.
team with just one ace in this match. Again, another disciplined block from Brandy. This time she pulls off the net. And to make Kraft's credit, I think every time that she's had the open net or seen the block pulling back, she's found the point.
Yeah, it's a good aggressive swing yet again from Meg Kraft. I like, it's kind of a tactical pull there from Brandy. Just maybe expecting the shot. It wasn't a poor set or anything.
High set inside. And that's probably one of the more underrated qualities that we don't talk about. Maybe it's not underrated on the beach per se, but one that we don't discuss is when that set maybe isn't exactly where you need it to be, and having the ability to kind of make something out of it. It's a really nice look for Brandy Wilkerson.
Yeah, former teammate of mine, Manhattan Beach Open winner on the AVP, Reed Pretty, would talk. He would kind of refer to that as knowing your outs.
Yeah.
And that takes a lot of experience and a lot of repetition as a player. But when I get in a compromised position, what are my ways out of that, right? And these top players understand those outs very, very well.
Yeah, and then the top defenders also do, and they're running right to him.
Correct.
Brandy Wilkerson again. Ooh, change the tempo. Brandy was just a hair late there.
If you're Therese Cannon, if you just want to go ahead and feast on the 6-foot line cross court, usually that out is always available.
Oh, the hands of Melissa, so good, but Therese finds one. That's just her second block in this match. Or excuse me, her first. She has a control block to her. But Wilkerson, come on, man. I'm looking at her stat line. 5 stuffies and 4 control blocks.
Yeah, in a set in 2/3.
You gotta be joking.
That is out of
Ooh,
bounds. No
thought that was
touch.
pretty close. I thought there might have been a touch off the net, or off the block.
It looked like maybe Therese was going into the angle. Meg run into the line late. Brandy had the right shot, just overcooked it a hair. See it fall past the end line. That's why you build the big lead, though, right? So you can withstand an error or two. The good block from Therese on the cut shot to play prior, and then the swing long there.
You mentioned Melissa Humana-Paredes and Brandy Wilkerson being coached by Marcio Sicoli. Marcio's a lot of experience coaching up a multitude of Olympians in his day. Now coaching over at Pepperdine.
Yeah, eye drills on the gram. Might be eye drills VB. You can check him out. Yeah, one of the top beach volleyball minds in the game, Marcio.
I'm starting to get a little nervous every time Kraft and Cannon go up to swing, just because of what Brandy is doing at the net.
You know, that's why I like sort of the aggressive approach, because that's a great hard swing from Meg Kraft and an unbelievable blocking move from Brandy, but everything has to line up perfectly for the defense to get that block.
Remember back to the beginning of this second set, they were aiming for that cross-court serve like you mentioned, especially that short one. There's the ace for Therese Cannon. It looks like things are starting to turn their direction. They trail by 1, timeout taken. Finally, on the side of Melissa Humana-Paredes and Brandy Wilkerson. That's a win in itself, forcing your opponent to take the timeout.
Absolutely, and any real point that you can get on the bad side feels like almost a 1.5 or something. So that ace feels really good and gets them to within 1. A little bit of a battle here in set number 2.
Set 3 right now is 5-4. Betsy and Julia.
Again, everyone looking for a shot to head off to the league come September. This is the schedule. Book it up now. Come hang out with us in August in Manhattan Beach in the South Bay. And then, of course, the iconic event, the Chicago Open, August 30th through September 1st. But then you need to focus in on each of our locations come 8 weeks in September, and including the championships. There'll be more volleyball, beach volleyball than ever before. And here's how it works. When you get a chance to head off to the league, it's the top 8 men's teams and the top 8 women's teams. I'd rather just get a ticket and win a title. Book your way in from the very beginning right here in Huntington Beach. And it will be over 2 days each of those weekends, with each of these teams being made up of one's men's pairing and one woman's pairing. An unorthodox option play.
Unorthodox, yeah. Brandy getting involved in the limbo contest a little early. Yeah, Cam, going back to the league, like you were saying, you're a person who likes to have your calendar booked far in advance.
Yeah, pretty much all 18 weeks of the fall are done already.
That's right. These players would like to join you in that early preparation.
Each of the cities that will be represented will play in 4 of those 8 weekends. However, we'll be there the whole time.
I can't wait.
Again, trying to find that back corner against Mel. You have to have this. Oh, that's a bummer of a transition play. Oh, it doesn't matter. Time to find the cannon block.
Yeah, it wasn't what they wanted on the first contact on the side of Cannon and Kraft. They stayed with it. Therese getting an excellent block on the option attempt. Battle indeed now, 17 apiece, Cam.
What a set. Good swap block. Drop it down and back up. There was a touch off the block, so Cannon had to send it. Kraft finds the shoulder. Swing away, young buck.
Yeah, she has done nothing but swing away, and I'm here for it. Been very good offensively. Along those lines, I'd like to see Mel be a little bit more aggressive. She's just kind of rolling the ball around, and right now, Therese and Megan have a tremendous beat on that. Touching a lot of balls at the net, running balls down in the backcourt.
Well, to your point, Mel was hitting 700 set 1. Set 2, she's at 333. How about a little power from Brandy?
Power from Brandy and a little fire. Yeah, they kind of coughed up that lead that they built. They were feeling comfortable just moments ago, and now they're chasing the Trojans.
Can Cannon and Kraft find set 3 here? Brandy been working with this jump float. Baby serve to the sideline. That's the one that's not fun to have to pass on that side. They're getting a free ball. Some free ice cream for Mel and Brandy.
Yeah, that all started with that serve, and I think we were close to the 8-second violation there. I wasn't sure if the whistle had been blown for her to serve. Brandy really took her time, but then came up with a gem of a serve.
That's with the timing of the reception. I'll tell you that much. Make them think about it that much longer. Oh, and the ace. It was 18 all. They got a free ball, an opportunity to transition out, and now an ace, bringing us to a match point. Just like that.
Again, both of these points coming from the bad side.
The tide has turned back to the Canadians. Miss serve.
That's one.
You're wincing.
Yeah. You can't miss on match points.
Where's our booth cam now?
Yeah. Those are ones, I mean, 2 great serves preceded it, of course.
Match point remains. Set inside. They only need one side out, and they find it. Melissa Humana-Paredes and Brandy Wilkerson are back in the semifinals.
It wasn't as smooth as they would have liked in the kind of latter third of that second set. You got to credit the fight from Cannon and Kraft, of course, but a semifinal berth nonetheless for Mel and Brandy.
Check it out. For the number 4 seed, finished first or second in 5 of 6 AVP events together. They want to take the season opener yet again. Last year was in Miami, now right here in Huntington Beach. But they've got a tough team in front of them, Cheng and Hughes, who, by the way, have the last 2 Huntington Beach titles. They're looking for the hat trick this week, but I can't wait for it. The 3 and 4, we've got the 1 seed still in the mix in the semifinal. Let's take a look back at some of the highlights for this matchup as Team Canada came out firing.
Yeah, they were strong from the start, hitting 700 in the first set. That is going to be tough to stop. Kraft and Cannon did a nice job of kind of resetting into the second set. Made a good push late. We're even up 18-17, but the Canadians, the 4 seed in the world, the Olympians later this summer, found a way to sneak it out late.
You think back to the numbers between these two teams, 542 ending with the efficiency for Mel and Brandy. If they carry that on to the semifinals, that's going to be a really, really not fun offensive team to have to face. The 292 on the opposite side. But this is still a great performance for Cannon and Kraft. Their first appearance on the AVP alongside one another. Megan Kraft playing defense, and for the first time behind Therese Cannon's block, you would never have known.
Yeah. A lot of positives to take away for that team, and they'll be looking good the rest of the summer.
5 blocks, and don't forget her additional 4 control blocks. That's not on that stat, but Brandy Wilkerson is a force up at the net. Watch out for her as this team will be moving on to the semifinals to face off against Cheng and Hughes.
Hey, well done. There you go.
As we warm up for the men's semifinals on Stadium Court, I'll keep you updated on what's happening on court number 1.